Welcome to 1111. I have Steve here today, and I had some technical difficulties in recording this interview. And so you'll notice a little choppiness in the video, so I apologize for that. But I still like to interview asking Steve, what does inner work mean for him, and how does he stay committed to inner work?
I was always a self-improvement guy, but a lot of it was around, sales and public speaking and how to build your business. So when I joined the Great Man Within, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was going to be about that. And then I got in and it was much more around reaching your full potential as a person and becoming the best version of yourself. And some of those tools and resources that I still use that I didn't before, meditation or breath work, these different things that you can call on at any time to settle yourself or get yourself looking forward. So just a quick example, this weekend, I was in a big golf tournament, and I know it's just golf, but it was a pressure-packed situation with a lot of people watching. And with my sunglasses on, I took a couple of deep breaths with my eyes closed and no one knew, and I was lowering my heart rate.
Mm-hmm.
And it allowed me to handle the pressure of the moment better. And again, no one knew I was doing it, but I was just trying to get into that relaxing mode so I could perform at my best during that moment. It's funny. I didn't think I needed it because I was a high achiever. Like almost everybody in the mastermind was a high achiever, and what we learned was how to optimize and how to get to that next level, not by speeding up, but by slowing down. And that was really powerful to sit back and take a look at your life and really to think through where you were performing best for your family, your company, your community, yourself, and then how these tools could help you to be even better. For example, one of the things I learned was a morning routine. I was always that person that got up, got my coffee, shower, got dressed, and went to work and started just firing. And what I learned was when I take my time, don't get on my phone in the morning, have coffee with my wife, do a little meditation, all those things. And if I take an hour and a half versus 25 minutes, then I am so much more productive throughout the day. My mind is clearer. I have more creativity. It's just one example of how some of these things, again, that we learned along the way allowed me to go from being a high achiever to the next level, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then reflecting on your whole journey and looking at applied into your life and what made a difference.
Well, Tony, the big one. Then that was, partway through this journey, I realized through a deep meditation called the Great Man Within that within there you come face to face with the person that you aspire to be. And we all have this vision of who we want to be. And often we also know the very next step we should take, but it's taking that step that is the hard part. But what came to me in this meditation was that what was holding me back from being the very best version of myself was alcohol. And it was a awakening for me. And I've done a lot of podcasts on my choice to live alcohol free, but for those that haven't heard those, no one in my life ever told me I should drink less. I never hit rock bottom. Again, everything from the outside looking in was doing really well. But when that happened, I realized that it was after COVID and my drinking was picking up, to be fair. But I realized that was the one thing that was holding me back. And it wasn't easy. And it took a couple of tries. But I eliminated alcohol from my life. I'm coming up on 1,000 days next week. And I can list 3 things in my life that are better because of this. And maybe number one is, and this also came through our time together, is self-love, right? Not having imposter syndrome, looking in the mirror and feeling very good about who I see versus what I saw some mornings after drinking. And then really every other facet of my life has gotten better because of that.
Mhm.
So didn't see that coming at all as part of this inner work. But as you know, many of us had different epiphanies throughout our 4 years together. And this was mine.
Mhm. It's super powerful to see you radiate, and people are starting to become more attracted to you because of your story. To that, what else do you have to say on
Yeah,
how it has changed you in that?
it is crazy. I mean, um, I'm not a bad looking guy, but I'm not one of those people that people come up and say, "Oh my gosh," like. But um, after I quit drinking and became alcohol free, I still have people come up to me all the time and tell me how good I look, especially if I haven't seen them for a while.
That's great. That's great.
It happens all the time. And part of it's that I'm thinner. If you stop drinking, your skin gets clearer, your eyes get brighter, your voice gets stronger. I have more hair, which people don't even believe. Like all these things happen. And, and my whole thing, when I do talk about drinking, is I encourage people to take a 90-day break. I've never told anybody they should quit drinking. I would never judge anybody for drinking. And, I joke I had a 38-year successful career in drinking. But, but when you take 90 days off, it is so awakening because if you have been drinking for 10, 20, or 30 years, you don't know what your body could feel like without alcohol in it. And alcohol is a toxin. So, and I related a little bit to arsenic, right? Like if you just take a little bit of it every day, you're slowly poisoning yourself. Or if you stop that and you allow your body to regenerate over 90 days, then you really realize the potential of who you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And having people tell you that you look good is also motivation to keep it going as well.
Sure.
So yeah, that happens so often. It's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It became clear, you said in that meditation, that it's drinking that's in your way.
Yes.
In fact, you were able to see the opportunity. And most people, they might get a hint of that in their life, but taking an action is the hardest step. And moreover, being consistent. Do you want to talk about that journey?
Yeah. So a couple things there. So it was absolutely that meditation that happened. But there was also something else that was, put in my mind throughout the mastermind through, Dominic Cortuccio, who run it during that period of time. And that was, a saying, which is the definition of hell. So the definition of hell is when the person on your deathbed, the person that you became meets the person you could have become. You're on your deathbed, and the person you became meets the person you could have become. And that all accumulated into this meditation where the person that I became was ashamed when I met the person that I could have become. That I realized that I've had all these opportunities and gifts in life, and I was somewhat wasting them because I was drinking. So yeah, it was very motivating that whole period of time and all these tumblers coming together. But the other piece was the community of the mastermind, was the community of doing work with others. And, coming out of that meditation and sharing with everyone what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I had just kept it to myself, then that's where, you get in trouble, right? But, half of solving a problem is admitting that there is one.
Mm-hmm.
And when you admit to 20 other men that this is what happened during the meditation, it would force you almost to take steps. So that's when I did take steps. And then again, after the 90 days, I realized how good I could feel. So I went 7 months, and then I realized, I felt, now I feel when I'm 60, I feel like I'm 45.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I thought I was just getting older. And here, there's this whole other life out there for me. And the other piece of it is when you do eliminate alcohol from your life, you eat better, you might exercise more. All these things start to happen, so it all builds on itself for you to really feel like you're the best version of yourself. Yeah.
Excellent. Steve, is there anything else that stands out from me that has made an impact on your life that's perhaps changed the way you're thinking or actually the way you're working today?
Yeah. So, I'll come back to, meditation, sleep, other areas that have been impacted. And part of that is living alcohol free, but part of it is, I sort of wear an aura ring like almost everybody in our group and measuring my sleep. And actually, it's funny, last night I ate, I stopped at a fast food later at night, which I have not done in maybe years. And I had a really bad night's sleep. And I was just starving. I was coming back from the golf course. And I drove by and I did it. And, the fact that I can measure it now, the fact that I'm a little tired today, I don't like because my sleep scores are exceedingly high. And that's part of the kind of nighttime routine, like the morning routine. It is, now learning that I shouldn't have caffeine after 2 o'clock, that I shouldn't eat late, that I should decompress before I go to bed, cool room, dark, all the stuff that you do. But sleep is so powerful in regeneration. So, I sleep better because of the inner work.
Mhm.
And then, meditation, which I often do in the morning. There's a lot of studies out there that people lose their creativity around 45,
Mm.
and it starts to go away. But I would argue my creativity is higher than it's ever been.
Mm.
My brain is kind of cooking on all cylinders, and part of that creativity comes from, again, slowing down and allowing myself through meditation to come up with what's next for me, what's next for a nonprofit I'm involved in, what's next for my business, what's next for my family. People often say, well, I have great ideas when I'm in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have great ideas when I'm in a plane. And the reason that you do that is because you are sitting there without your phone, without any media, without the news. Like you're forced to think. Well, if you give yourself 10 minutes to think, your world can change. So, yeah, that's a really powerful tool that I've learned along the way as well.
That's good. And what's next, Steve? Is there anything big on your horizon?
I did a TEDx talk last year.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple podcasts. I run a dry January for my company and 3 other companies. And, I've helped hundreds of people that I know change their relationship with alcohol. So that's a big passion of mine. And people seem to relate to it again, because I'm not judgmental at all. I've been there. I'm just sharing with people, take a break and see what happens. Start with dry January. If you can't get through dry January, maybe you should consider something, right? And then, I am also very passionate about inclusion and diversity. And I'm doing a lot of work in that space in a challenging time.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was through this work where about 2 years ago, I found myself getting a little tired, or, the daily kind of mundane, doing the same thing every day for, 37 years of being in the business. I realized I needed a change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So through that, again, it was through meditation and, a coach that I work with, that I redesigned my team. And I have an outstanding team, so that I'm not doing as much of the service. I still bring in new clients, which I love to do. I still stay in touch with our clients, of course. And then it allows me to do a lot of work in the community and in the nonprofit sector, do the alcohol-free work, do the inclusion and diversity work. And all of these things give me energy and joy. So it allows me to, through slowing down, focus my efforts on what I can really, bring the most value to the world in. And that brings me more energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it builds on itself. So it's that, again, as Dominic said to me at one point at my stage in life, it's moving from success to significance.
Hmm.
But it's so easy, I think, for many of us to not do that, to not stop, analyze, realize what could be next, which allows you to keep going at a very high clip.
Yeah. I think that's been such a good theme of today's podcast with you, is to be able to stop and do an intentional reflection. And it's great to see where things have opened up in your life.
Yes.
One
Yeah.
last,
Thank you, Tony. It's been fun. And then, we're empty nesters, so I also get in my golf and tennis, which keeps
yeah,
me going and keeps me active. And I'm very passionate about both those sports as well.
for sure. And to close out this today, what would you tell your younger self, Steve, like your 22-year-old self, now that you know what you know?
I do wonder sometimes if I was 40, utilizing all of these tools that I have today, what it would look like now. If I had paused back then and really added breath work and meditation and morning and night routines and all these different pieces, and would that have sent me in a different direction or a faster direction? Or I don't know, Tony, but I do think I know what it's done for me over the last 5 years. So if I had it for 20 years, I think something else good would have come from it, right?
Right.
Yeah, maybe for the community, maybe for my business, maybe for my firm, maybe for my family. I don't know. But I do know that it's extremely powerful, the work that we do and how we do it together. And I actually just went through another 8-week program with Dr. Adrian Yodom. She's out in California, and we did another 8-week mastermind with 6 really incredible men. And, I learned a lot there too. So I would just say that the work doesn't stop, whether you're 40 or 60. There's still things to learn and ways to get there. And she had us doing some proactive journaling, like on the moment. And I had epiphany during that. And I haven't done a lot of journaling, even though we did some, but just kind of forced writing for 5 or 10 minutes, and all of a sudden something came out that I knew it, but I never saw it. Once I saw it, then I acted on it. So I think the work continues no matter where you are.
That's great to hear, because I think a lot of people do get into psychology therapy, mastermind groups. They get something out of it, and then they never really come back into learning more about them. It's great to see that you're continuing to do it, even though you got so much out of it. Things are wide open for you, new horizons. You're still going back to it, which is really inspiring.
Yeah, I'm always looking for the next thing. Always have been. So when Adrienne invited me to do this, and she wrote a book called Hungry for More, and I've had her on some of my dry January work that I've done with my company. I kind of jumped on it, and again, there's always something new to learn.
Yeah. Well, great, Steve. I think this has been fun to talk and reflect on your journey. There's a lot of awesome insights that you're able to share with us, and it's cool to see the path you're on now, from making that one decision by looking at what your great man is supposed to look like. Seems like you're stepping into that. So really awesome to see.
Well, thank you, Tony. It has been great, and I'm just very blessed to have met Dominic and all of you.